When I was just a kid, my parents never stopped fighting. It was because of my dad's cheating. He was handsome and competent at his job, so I guess people around him couldn't resist. Despite getting caught multiple times, he never stopped cheating. It was as if he was pushing my mom's limits. By the time I turned 5, Mom reached her breaking point. I remember crying and yelling,
"How selfish can you be? You asked me to leave just because you got a child with another woman. What about Sarah, then?"
Enough. Sarah's already 5. The new one's just been born.
So what? Don't you remember who did you marry?
I said, I'll support you guys. Just understand it already.
Even at that young age, I could sense how self-centered his arguments were. A dad who had a child with another woman while still having his wife. A mom pressured by my dad to divorce for his mistress and their child. Amid the chaos, I'd wonder, what's that child like? Eventually, Mom left Dad and moved out. Since then, I've never seen my father. After high school, I immediately started working. I wanted to help my mom as soon as possible. At first, I worked in a supermarket, managing stock and restocking shelves. I wasn't great with customers. After about 6 months, I started studying for the bookkeeping certification, heavily encouraged by a part-time older lady. Once I got that certification, my job prospects widened, and I luckily started working at my current company. I'm not particularly skilled. The only reason I kept my job was the support from those around me. Being diligent and reserved, my colleagues often looked out for me. I was fortunate with the employees in my office as well. And then I got someone special at work. A guy from the sales department, Bob Smith. If it wasn't for Bob, I might not have come to terms with my mom's death. Yes, she passed away suddenly due to a severe illness when I was 21. I can't forget the words she repeatedly told me while lying in her hospital bed.
Cherish your bonds with others.
Bob was with me during those final moments.
"Leave Sarah to me. I'll take care of her forever,"
he said. Amid the grief, Mom managed a small smile before she took her last breath. Growing up witnessing my parents' strained relationship, thanks to Bob, I experienced a happy married life. We were blessed with children, and after maternity leave, I could safely return to the same department. Balancing work and parenting isn't easy at all. Once again, the understanding and cooperation from those around me were invaluable. "Sorry, manager. Just got a call from the daycare. My kids come down with a fever."
That stuff. Go right away. I'll handle your pending work.
"Hey, manager. I'll be free in about 10 minutes. Just let me know whatever you need."
I'll be finishing up soon too. Sarah, hurry up and take over with him.
Yes, thank you all so much. Many of them were married, so they were understanding. But even aside from that, I felt truly blessed to be surrounded by such people. However, those happy moments didn't last long. One day, out of the blue, Bob passed away. It was a car accident during working hours. Now, like my mother, I have become a single parent. I didn't have the luxury of dwelling in my sorrow. Parenting and work won't wait for me to stop crying. I turned the condolences and encouragement from my colleagues into strengths and started working hard again. A few months later, to fill the gap left by Bob, a new recruit joined our sales team.
My name is Camila Johnson. Nice to meet you all.
A stunning beauty and a capable salesperson with many accomplishments, Camila Johnson. Rumor had it she was well known in the industry, and the boss was thrilled she had joined us. And indeed, her skills were the real deal. Within 6 months of joining, she clinched several major deals in succession. Soon she was a part of the decision-making process in our department, and 2 years later, she was leading it. Camila had a captivating charm about her, and she knew it. She had an uncanny ability to understand what people wanted and adapt to them. Some employees felt she was standoffish, while others felt she favored them. It seemed she adjusted her attitude based on their enthusiasm and interest in her. What's more, she did it so naturally that it never felt obnoxious. Most employees were taken in by Camila, except for a few, like me. I did my best to avoid interacting with her. I wanted to keep my distance. She probably noticed my aversion. After all, I wasn't as good at hiding my feelings as she was. The office became divided between the vast majority who were pro-Camila and a small minority who weren't. It was around this time that the economic downturn began to cast a dark shadow on the company's performance. Salaries and infrastructure investments were affected, and the atmosphere at the company gradually deteriorated. It was painful to feel the growing discontent among my colleagues. Backbiting increased, and people became more abrasive in their language. Some even began openly berating one another. Worse, no one seemed to want to step in. Most just turned a blind eye. Then came a proposal that only added to the chaos. It was from Camila.
Let's boost our strengths through interdepartmental personnel exchange.
She said the goal was to rebuild as a resilient company, ready for any situation. Unfortunately, I was chosen for this personnel exchange and was assigned to the sales team led by her. What I learned in sales was just how unsuited I was for it. That's about it. Being passive, wearing my emotions on my sleeve, and lacking in sociability weren't exactly assets in sales. But that didn't mean I could just sit around. I had targets to meet, and failure to achieve them would label me incompetent.
Why can't you handle even such simple tasks? I really don't get it.
Camila would sometimes throw such blatant sarcastic remarks my way. And when she started, there was no stopping her. There wasn't a single ally for me within the team. Nobody would defend me from her.
Isn't your work just too slow? I wish you'd pick up the pace. People won't like you if you're so standoffish, you know? It's all about the sales smile. Got it. Please, can you at least follow through with what you say? Can you stop dragging us down? You're so useless.
Almost every day, I was bombarded with these harsh words, and my motivation to work plummeted. But I couldn't take any days off. If I failed, I wouldn't be able to make ends meet. I needed to keep working for the sake of a happy life with my child. Back then, I believe my focus was more on protecting myself than on my job. I was constantly thinking about how to avoid any sarcastic comments from Camila or even how to avoid seeing her altogether. There were quite a few employees who were going through the same struggles as me. All of them were not by her side, and many of them were either mentally distressed or deeply hurt. Naturally, the number of employees quitting increased. No farewell parties were held. No words of encouragement were given. The company's performance kept declining, and things became increasingly disorganized. One day, I was summoned to the boss's office. Wondering what the boss wanted, I asked, and there she was.
You finally made it. Aren't you always so slow?
It was Camila. She seemed very close to the boss, too close for comfort.
We happened to talk about you, and since Miss Camila wanted to confirm something directly, so...
What on earth did they want to confirm? When our eyes met, she gave me a mocking laugh.
Sarah, is it true you only have a high school diploma?
What? Yes, I do, but...
No way. There really are people like that here. Well, I guess that can't be helped then.
What couldn't be helped? Camila, smiling smugly, reported to the boss.
I'll reorganize the interdepartmental collaboration teams, adding the information that she only has a high school diploma.
The boss, who couldn't argue against their star performer, reluctantly seemed to agree. All right. Then she approached me and whispered in my ear.
Sorry, I don't need a high school grad in my team. Well then, boss, we'll be on our way.
I was ushered out of the boss's office by her. The corridor was empty, just the two of us. This is exactly the situation I had hoped to avoid.
The performance of my team, the one formed through interdepartmental collaboration, was at the bottom.
Is that so?
It's not just is that so. Who do you think is to blame for that?
She was insinuating it was all my fault. I believe a team should help cover for members who might be struggling. Is it really possible for a company to grow by only keeping the competent ones? She was swapping out team members aggressively for her own objectives. I was completely fed up.
What's with that look?
Nothing really.
If you go against me, you'll be fired. For someone like me now, that's pretty easy, you know.
After hearing such words, I made up my mind. There are other companies out there. I don't have any reason to stay and suffer here. The next day, I handed in my resignation to the boss. What surprised me was that upon hearing of my departure, many others followed suit. Most of them were female office workers who often interacted with me.
If you are leaving, we're leaving too. We can't stand the way this company operates anymore.
I was taken aback. I didn't realize that I was someone people looked up to. The news that several female employees, including myself, were quitting spread like wildfire throughout the company. The higher-ups weren't pleased, but we remained firm in our decision. On my last day at work,
Wait, Sarah?
someone called out to me as I was leaving the office. It was Camila. She was running towards me, looking distressed. I knew that recently she had become the scapegoat for the company's issues. Part of the reason the company lost so many employees was due to her. The company seemed to have finally recognized that.
I've been talking to HR about the people who are quitting.
Why, trying to find reasons to persuade us to stay.
I apologize for prying into personal details without permission. I'm sorry.
I was about to leave, but she stopped me with her loud voice.
Why did you keep silent? Didn't you notice, sis?
Sis. I turned around to face her once more. Yes, I had noticed from the beginning. The surname Johnson she had before marriage. The age difference between us. Her facial features. And most importantly, the self-centered nature, so much like my father. She is my half-sister. Surprisingly, tears began to stream down her face.
My dad and mom are both gone due to illness. I've always lived alone.
Then, she began to speak in bits and pieces. She found out at some point that she was a child born out of her father's cheating. She couldn't be proud of her birth, resented her irresponsible and promiscuous parents, and grew up without trusting anyone. All she had was a rebellious attitude towards her parents and thoughts of how to use those around her to get by. She's come this far by not opening up to anyone, using her talents and charm as her weapons.
But I've reached my limit. It's the same no matter where I work. In the end, people always leave.
You can't fool me with that. You're always thinking about yourself, not caring about others.
But you are the only family I have now. If you also leave me,
Camila, with tears streaming down, I spoke to. About everything since my parents got divorced.
Cherish your bonds with others.
With those words, my mom left me. I've lived earnestly till now. I might be leaving the company, but I'm not alone. I have a child and connections with friends. The child is a testament to the deep connection between Bob and me. Unbreakable bonds with friends prove it too. It's evidence that I've always valued relationships with others. You might want to think about others too, not just pity yourself all the time.
think about others too.
Just that might change a lot.
Though, Sarah.
I started walking, leaving her sobbing behind. I never looked back. Later on, I did something I never imagined I'd do after resigning. I reached out to trustworthy colleagues, and together, we started a new company. Thanks to the many skilled members who joined, our performance improved year by year. On the other hand, the company I used to work for couldn't recover from its poor performance and eventually went bankrupt. Several years have passed. To our surprise, an unexpected individual came in for a job interview.
My name is Camila Johnson.
Meeting her after such a long time, her eyes seemed strangely clearer and more straightforward than before.
I'd like to start from scratch and learn everything here. Please give me a chance.
She looked completely sincere. There was no reason to refuse. Everyone faces setbacks at some point in their lives. My colleagues and I welcomed her and took a new step forward together.